Hello and good day to you all. Here we are on day 14 of the vlog, and I want to share some music news today. So I woke up this morning to read a really cool story that essentially Bandcamp is sharing news that they are banning AI generated music. So this is a very interesting headline, and I want to read more into it. Music created wholly or in substantial part by AI tools will no longer be permitted on Bandcamp. In a statement published yesterday, the music distribution service announced that it would be fortifying its mission around AI-generated music to keep Bandcamp human. Any use of AI to imitate artists or styles is also strictly prohibited, as part of its existing policies prohibiting impersonation and intellectual property infringement. Bandcamp has instructed its users to report any music found on the platform that it suspects to have been created using AI tools, adding that it reserves the right to remove any music on suspicion of being AI generated. With this policy, we're putting human creativity first, and we will be sure to communicate any updates to the policy as the rapidly changing generative AI space develops. So this is pretty cool news, I suppose. I mean, I guess you could question how they're going to determine what is AI generated and to what degree. I know lots of people are just prompting their way to music and calling themselves musicians, and that leaves a kind of weird taste in my mouth. So I think that that's ultimately a positive step, but we'll see how it's implemented. I celebrate that, and I hope that a streaming service might also follow suit. And in some connected news, an older story from November that ties Udio and Suno's court cases of copyright infringement. I think this is a interesting connected story with Bandcamp's news today. Warner Music now has settled its copyright lawsuit case with Suno. We're reading here, Warner Music Group settled its copyright infringement case with the artificial intelligence-powered song creation platform Suno, enabling the startup to launch licensed AI models next year. And Suno's rival Udio also settled its copyright dispute with Warner and Universal. To me, this just means that there's going to be more fake-ass AI-generated schlop, and you'll be able to combine different artists from the major labels and, like get a country style of a pop artist, etc. Major labels are trying to safeguard their vast catalogs in a sharply evolving music industry where a surge in AI-generated music has raised ethical concerns, with users unable to distinguish AI content from human-composed songs. I fail to see how this is going to make any difference. Under the deal, Suno will introduce new licensed AI models that will replace its current versions. Suno, which last week raised $250 million at a $2.45 billion valuation, said it also implement download restrictions, making songs created on their free tier playable and shareable only, while paid users will have monthly download limits with options to purchase more. They're going to be rolling out new robust features for creation, opportunities to collaborate and interact with some of the most talented musicians in the world. How are you interacting with a musician if you're just having an AI copy their work to barf out something new? That just, to me, seems ridiculous. The record label sued Udio and Suno last year, alleging that the companies copied hundreds of songs, I'm sure it was a lot more than that, from their popular musicians to teach their systems how to create music to directly compete with, cheapen, and ultimately drown out human artists. Udio and Suno had said that the use of copyright sound recordings to train their systems qualified as fair use under the U.S. copyright law, and they called the lawsuits attempts to stifle independent competition. I think this raises so many interesting questions about copyright. The laws that were put in place to protect the creative arts. What gets copyrighted? What is getting protected? And what is up for grabs in the AI training on our data? What is this doing to the definition of what copyright is? I think that the court case that happened between Pharrell and the Marvin Gaye estate of the song Blurred Lines, I think it's quite humorous, the name of the song title, as we are even more blurring the lines in copyright and law. What gets protected? What are you able to copyright? The notes? The melody? The rhythm? The groove? The style? And what is the AI training on? Slippery slope. The laws that were put in place over the last 100 years to protect the arts are being eroded. What do you think about that? To me, having your AI system train on copyrighted music to then offer music into the same marketplace, to me, is a direct violation of what copyright stands for. Canadian copyright law defines fair dealing, which is fair use, the term in America. Fair dealing for the purpose of research, private study, education, parody, or satire. I don't think those qualify. Fair dealing for the purpose of criticism or review does not infringe on copyright if the following are mentioned: the source, the author, the performer, the maker, or the broadcaster. News reporting. Is an AI training on our data news reporting? I don't think so. Fair dealing for the purpose of news reporting does not infringe on copyright if the following are mentioned: the source, the author, the performer, the maker, the broadcaster. Non-commercial, user-generated content. Music that we published online, is that non-commercial, user-generated content? It is not an infringement of copyright for an individual to use an existing work or other subject matter or copy of one which has been published or otherwise made available to the public in the creation of a new work or other subject matter in which the copyright subsists for the individual, or with the individual's authorization. The use of, the authorization to disseminate the new work or other subject matter is solely done for non-commercial purposes. The AIs are charging the users to make content on their platform, so to me that breaks a non-commercial purpose. The individual had reasonable grounds to believe that the existing work or other subject matter or copy of it, as the case may be, was not infringing copyright. And the use or the authorization to disseminate the new work or other subject matter does not have substantial adverse effects, financial or otherwise, on the exploitation or potential exploitation of the existing work. So that means that in order for it to not be copyright infringement, the generated or created material can't have an adverse effect financially on the existing copyright. And I think dumping all this fake-ass music into the streaming services, for example, is having an adverse effect on us. So I fail to see how AI-generated content is not directly competing with copyrighted content. And I think that our laws, the laws that all our forefathers fought so hard to create and put in place so that creators could get paid for their work, for their books, for their artwork, for their scripts, for their movies. This is a slippery slope, and I'm working on a video that really goes deeper into what copyright is and how those laws evolved and came into place. But I just wanted to share this news because I think these are, quick trips off the cliff, and I really want to point that out as we continue to look at creativity, AI, and the replacement of our human creativity with all this prompted stuff. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. What do you guys think? We've already had some of these conversations, and I want to create some videos to further continue this conversation. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying creative and finding ways to be creative in the face of the global madness. I was able to stay creative working on a remix for the beautiful artist Maz Zatar. He's a lovely Persian artist that I met years ago in Burning Man, and I just did a remix for him. It's going to be all released, I believe, on February 6th, something like that. Keep your eyes open. I will share a link to this remix album. Got some heavy hitters with Kaya Project, Blumerian, Jeff Stott. Honored to be in such esteemed World Fusion company as we share art and music to show the beauty of cultures around the world, the harmony, the love. There's so much fear and hatred in this world, and I think that we need more love, more dancing, as I've been saying. So keep going. Love you all.